Alright, hello everybody. My name's Peter, and I'm here to open a box, and we're going to see what's inside of it. It used to be when I got boxes this size, they were wrapped in wrapping paper, and they were under the Christmas tree, and for days ahead of time, I would go to that spot under the Christmas tree, and I would go like this. And it would make a totally different noise, and I would go, Legos! And I would be all excited. But today it's making a totally different noise, and I'm going, pens, surgical slices. Okay, the tape wasn't actually holding it shut. That's right, got more pens from Goldspot. The last time Goldspot sent me anything, it was a little bit weird because it was the most expensive pen they had ever sent me. I mean, anyway, it was the most expensive pen I'd probably ever touched. And then it was strange for me because it didn't work very well. It worked worse than any other fountain pen I'd ever seen. And the general consensus seemed to be that it was just slightly defective. It is what it is. They seem very gracious about it. They actually seem like nice people, not like they were trying to scam me or something. I don't know what the deal is with those pens. Who knows? I gave my opinion on that pen. So did like so many other people in the comments. You can go watch that video if you want to find out about it. I sent that pen back to them, and they're like, hey, let's send you some other pens. I'm like, fine, send me some other pens. See how it goes. I just say what I think about the pens. And for some reason, people keep sending me stuff. I'm not actually a pen expert. I just like pens. I'm just enthusiastic about pens. I just enjoy them. All right, so let's look at what we have to see here today. It looks like we've got a PENBBS Demo Clear. I'm not sure what any of this is really. It's probably pens. An Opus 88. All right. And some Robert Oster ink. Let's start with this one maybe. I think it's maybe a $20 pen. It's a demonstrator pen, which does mean that it's totally clear. I like demonstrator pens just because they are clear, and you don't have to wonder all the time if the pen stops working a little bit. Is it because it's clogged, or there's some other little problem up here, or because it's out of ink? You just know it's still got ink in it or not. I'm wondering what this little spring floating around in there is for. Is it supposed to be attached, or is it just some sort of little thing, So it comes with the piston by default, which is cool. I like that. Some nice metal accents. This says PENBBS on here. The Nib Looks Nice also says PENBBS since 2005. F, so this is a fine nib. So I'm going to put some of this Robert Oster ink in here. I think this is like a pretty nice bottle of ink, like maybe $16 or $17. It says the color is Astorquiza Rot. I was going to assume that little piece of metal in there was supposed to be wiggling back and forth, but now it's not wiggling at all. It's just like staying there. I don't know if that's... Oh wait, now it's stopped. Okay. Yeah, so it's wiggling. And maybe that's just so that like, I have had the experience like with my Kawiko, sometimes some ink will get stuck like right up here on this part of it. And maybe so that's so you can go like this, and the ink, it'll bring the ink back down. Is that, you think, guys, is that a silly assumption? I don't know. Am I missing something very obvious here, you guys think? Let's fill it up anyways. Oh yeah, it's just pouring out of there. Looks like a nice shade of red, I guess. Rotty red. Astorquiza Rot. That's one reason why I like dipping the whole nib in there, is that it starts flowing and writing immediately. I can put the back on here. Let's see if the cap goes on the rear of the pen. It does. Snugs right on there. That's important to me. Let's put the lid on this ink before I spill it. Let's see if it writes. First line worked well. I know said see if it writes, but for some reason I like I like drawing lines better than writing words. Here you go. Peter is testing a pen. The PENBBS, PENBBS I think it's called, with Asterquiza Rot ink. I like it. It feels good. It works good. See, I like scribbling lines like this because that's mostly what I use fountain pens to do personally. See, that's my personal interest in fountain pens. I draw with them more than I write with them. You can draw fast lines. There's no skipping. See, when I had that $600 pen, it wasn't doing this. It couldn't do this for some reason. It was defective, I suppose. I don't know why they didn't test it. I feel bad for going back to that, but this pen is working great, and I think it's $20. And I feel comfortable recommending this pen. It looks good. I like how it looks. It has a clear, solid construction. And yeah, it seems to be working well. The ink is flowing well. You want to make sure you use an ink intended for fountain pens when you use a fountain pen. The first time I used a fountain pen, I used just a bottle of India ink, and it gummed up my fountain pen, my first fountain pen, almost irreversibly. And that turned me off of fountain pens for a long time, a number of years almost. India ink is very sticky. You don't want that. Anyways, the nib is a little bit flexible even. I don't know if it's really supposed to be or if I'm just pushing it beyond what it's supposed to do, but yeah, I like it. Alright, so I got out my little sketchbook here. Sketchbook I like being a little bit sloppier and sketchy in, which is something I've really been enjoying fountain pens for. You can get a lot of like quick, strong strokes with, and a lot of my other pens that I enjoy drawing with have I get really precise details with them, but also the tips are more fragile, so you can't go really fast and hard and strong with them because the tips might break or something. So pens, different type of pens have ups and downs. What I'm enjoying fountain pens for is the ability to just scribble away to your heart's content because really, compared to my other pens, like I said, they're just real sturdy. As far as this PENBBS, how do you think it's pronounced? PENBBS? PENBBS? This is the 226 model. These seem to be, as far as I can tell, pens coming out of China. And unlike some of my recent pen reviews, not all things, and more specifically pens, coming out of China are cheap knockoffs. Like, it's actually a good, solid product, I think. For $20, it's a good pen. I think it rivals some of my other $20 pens. You might be even able to get it for $15 some places, depending where you're shopping. It also seems like they're getting, they have like some broad, they have a selection of inks, maybe like 15 different colors, but those seem like they're more difficult to get outside of China. Thankfully, inks, there's a million different types of inks you can get. That's one of the fun things about fountain pens, I guess. I have a fun red ink that I'm using in this video, which I learned, someone told me in my Twitch chat, that rot is German for red. Is that true? Which makes the word rot in this ink make a lot more sense, because it didn't really seem so it didn't seem that closely associated to the concept of decay, right? No, but I enjoyed this pen a lot. It's made of like clear, is this acrylic, do you think? Acrylic, and feels solid. Absolutely no flow problems. It flows great. I could even imagine this being one of my daily carry pens that I carry around with me to coffee shops and stuff to scribble away in sketchbooks. if it wasn't for the kind of boring shape. I don't know, I'm kind of fed up with and bored of it's kind of what would you call it, like a cigar torpedo submarine shape. It's just kind of overdone, I feel like, but I guess it's a classic fountain pen shape. But you can't blame me if I'm personally tired of it. But it's a solid pen. Anyways, all right, goodbye everybody. Thanks for watching. I'm going to review the Opus 88, which I had also in this box from Gold Spot Pens. I'll do that in a future video coming up soon. All right, goodbye everybody.